Y'all, it has been a while since I've talked crochet. Hey folks, it's Mary, aka MercyTriumphs, and this is Slow Crochet. Today I just want to update everyone and tell you about what I've been crocheting lately. And when I say lately, I think I mean since maybe March, maybe April, sometime like that. It has been a while since I've done kind of like a work in progress video. I have been crocheting. I am not able to show you everything that I've made because some of those things I have kind of given on over to their forever homes. But I've really been kind of taking it easy on the crochet front. I've been doing projects that maybe don't finish as quickly, and there's also been a lot more stuff on my plate this season. And so I've been able to upload every once in a while, and I'm hoping that I'll have a little bit of some breathing time. We always do, right? We hope for the best, but again, YouTube is a component of my life. There's so many other parts to it, but it's an important one, and it's one where I get to share with you guys. In general, on a day-to-day basis, I am the only crocheter that I currently interact with, just human to human. Like, I don't have any friends that are really crocheting constantly, or at least if I do, they're not ones that I get to see that much. So that's where you guys come in. So here is what I have been crocheting lately. So I am gonna, again, skip over some things that I've made that it's just not really that important. It's like hats and cowls and little gifts that have already gone home. But I did want to show you a few things that I was intentional about. So let's start with the world of amigurumi. I am a fan of Pokemon. As you can see, a few references to Pokemon back here, but I did end up making a Pokemon that I really like, and that is Shuckle. So this is a Pokemon, I think it's like a rock type. Anyway, the original Shuckle Pokemon is red, but the shiny variation, like the rare variant, is blue. And so this is one that I'd had on my to-do list, and in a moment where I was, I think, either in between projects or just not wanting to go with something that was really intensive, I thought, you know what, I had the yarn picked out. It's stuff from the Dollar Tree, and then I think some Red Heart in there, but I just went ahead and went for it. So I made my shiny Shuckle. I like his little embroidered face. He's super cute. I don't have the card to go along with him right now. My children have those, and maybe one day they'll have a spare Shuckle and I can have that on board. When I finished making this, my husband thought that it looked like one of those like acrylic massagers. So I know from time to time, like the Nintendo company, the Pokemon company will make character themed items. And so I think if this doesn't already exist as like one of those head massagers or back massagers, I think it would be a great kind of character piece for them to do. So not that anyone who has any authority there would ever watch this video, but I just thought that that was really cute and really fun. So of all the things that I finished, that was definitely one I wanted to share with you guys. I did follow a free pattern, and I'll have that listed in the description below, along with any other patterns or things that I reference. You can find them below, not affiliated, but just for your own information. All right, next thing that I actually have finished, back in the day, I was participating in a shawl swap, and I made a shawl for my sweet friend, Miss Jessie. And so I wanted to remake that for myself, but make it with modifying the triangle so it wasn't quite a right triangle, like a perfect square, but it was a bit wider. And so that is what I did. So I made the gratitude shawl, and you can see that angle is definitely not that 90-degree right angle. It's a lot wider. I do have a video on this channel. I can leave that listed below about how I take a right triangle shawl pattern and I modify it to something like this. And I do just find that this shape is it's a lot better for me. It seems to work better. I still get the nice wrap on it, but the point doesn't come down nearly so far on me, which works because I am kind of a compact person. So anyway, that is the gratitude shawl. This is a kind of a mystery cotton. I don't even remember the hook size I used on it. I completed this. in the last few months, but I've been wearing it quite a bit. It's nice and loose and wonderful for that kind of air conditioning and also hot outside. And maybe you want to cover your shoulders a little bit because you don't want to get sunburned and you forgot to wear your sunscreen. It's a multifunctional piece, and as you can see, it kind of works with the colors I'm wearing today. So love, love, love that shawl. And by the exact same designer, I'm also working currently on another shawl doing the same kind of thing where I'm modifying it from a standard right triangle and I'm making it an obtuse triangle. So y'all saw me with my Hirschner's mill ends. I started working up this cake, this kind of turquoisey aqua that goes into the greens. And this shawl is called the Vintage Vibes shawl. I've made this in the past, really loved it. It's a beautiful and effective design. And so it just kind of alternates between the rows of the flowers and the spaces here. So again, the original design calls for more of a right triangle, and I am modifying it so it's more of an obtuse triangle. This is one that is fairly easy to memorize. In terms of modifying it to be more of an obtuse triangle, it is fairly straightforward, but there are some rows in general that call for a different number of stitches on the edges and in the center. And so the only time that I'm actually using like that modification to adjust where your increased stitches are, whether in the center or on the sides. If you watch the video, you understand. The only times that I'm doing that are when it's like 2 stitches on each corner and 4 stitches in the middle. I'm modifying it to do 1 and 1 in the middle and then 3 and 3 on the sides. So the times where you have those chain spaces, I'm not doing that. So it's not quite as strong of a obtuse triangle. The angle is a little bit more narrow, but it's definitely not that right triangle either. So that is one that I've really been enjoying working on. For this one, I am using a, what is that, size F hook. Pretty small for me, but I have gotten smaller recently in some other projects. But yes, this is the first of several whips that I'm going to share about now. My longest standing whip currently, well, other than like a scrap blanket that's just kind of ongoing, for months I have not touched my Namari Cowl. It's a mosaic cowl. It's really gorgeous, but I just haven't had the brain capacity to really focus on something like this. So I've kept it in its own little bag. I use these kind of mesh bags. I actually have a couple other balls of yarn in there that I was going to use for something else, but a little bit overzealous and caking up. Anyway, all that to say, I use these kind of mesh organza bags as project bags, especially if I'm not actively working on them, so I can still see what it is, and it's also good to keep down the dust and critters and whatnot. So that is the Namari Cowl. I hope to be able to put some more attention towards that in the near future. I'm saying it on the internet, so hopefully this will help me be held accountable. I really don't like having long-standing works in progress, but it is kind of part of the season of life that I'm in. There's only so much time in the day, and crochet needs to be something where I feel excited about what I'm making. If it gets stressful or if I'm having to focus too much on something where really it's meant to be peaceful, then it's not really doing the job. Like, crochet needs to be restoring to my soul, not challenging to me in this season of life. So there's also this element of kind of relying on patterns that I've done in the past. And in July, today as I'm recording, it's August 1st, but in July I was working ahead trying to get some Christmassy things done. And so one of the patterns that I relied upon is Complicated Knots. Wonderful little frog. And I have made quite a few of these in the past, and I have a new set of people to make things for. So I made a dozen of these frogs. Most of them I made in shades of green, and these are all these are all acrylic. You hear my hook rattling. That's the next thing I'll talk about. But yes, how many frogs do I have? I think I do have a full dozen of them. Yikes. So dark green, kind of muted grayish dark green, a nice medium Crayola green, kind of a pale green, and then in colors, that pale yellow, bright orange, kind of a coral red, and then a lavender and a pale blue. So these frogs, I have an intended destination for them around Christmas time. I'll put on maybe like a little jingle bell or something and attach that to a hanging string. And so these will be one part of like Christmas in July, these happy little frogs that I just love. I mean, they're not exclusive to Christmas. Obviously, like yellow and bright green, you know, and pale blue. These are not necessarily Christmas colors, but I think for the intended purpose around Christmas time, these will be fun little gifts to be able to give. You heard this rattling around. Sometimes I keep works in progress in an old colander here. But yes, this is another set of works in progress. I have my hook through one of these so I don't lose it. This is another size F hook, but I am also making some little mushrooms. Now these bottoms I've made, all of them, I think I've made a total of 16, and I made them out of 100% wool, out of like Lion Brand Fisherman's wool. And so I am wanting to do the tops all in wool as well. I think this is also a Lion Brand Fisherman's wool. But I realized I don't have a whole lot of colors of worsted weight wool right now, or even like DK weight wool in scrap form. I'd like these to be kind of scrappy mushrooms. But soon, hopefully, I will have more because I am working on a couple of other projects, and as those projects complete, then I'll see what I have left, and those can go into the scraps. But yes, I do have more mushrooms to make, y'all. I've made so many of these mushrooms. I've made so many of these frogs, and it makes me glad because as I kind of move into different realms in life and meet new people, I'm like, oh, I can make mushrooms for you. I can make frogs for you. And it's nice to have those patterns that you can go back to time and again and are just really comforting and really joyful. Speaking of comforting and joyful, I got to talk about my friend Miss Cassandra over at Craftably Ever After. She is comforting. She is wonderful. I love her so much. She is so creative and so generous with her heart and with her creativity. Now, she does have patterns that will be available on her Etsy shop. She has patterns that are available in various magazines. She is all about the bears. She's all about amigurumi. If you haven't checked her out, what are you doing? You go ahead and go do that and then come back and see me again. But she's delightful, and she recently has been running a bear in a box crochet along. So I haven't completed it. This is a major work in progress, and to be honest, I probably won't complete everything, but I do at least want to complete the clothes. So let me just show you what I have thus far. I have my box. I do have my bear. And my bear is made out of wool. I don't think it's that fisherman's wool per se. We have slightly different colors of brown here, but love my little bear here. I did give it a tail. Now that is going to be challenging because I don't think a tail was allowed for in the patterns for the clothes. So that's going to be interesting. I do want to make like a pair of trousers, maybe a pair of overalls, and a little dress. As I'm recording, I can leave links below to everything that Miss Cassandra has left on her, not only her channel, but also her blog. She has free patterns for the bear in the box. But yeah, it'll be interesting to work around a little tail there. But I just felt like my bear needed a tail. The next thing that I did make the mattress. And I did make the pillow. And so the mattress is not stuffed at all. It has some plastic canvas in it, and so that has helped it be nice and flat. I did have a little bit of a problem with it kind of curling, but when I blocked it, because I did use 100% wool here, when I blocked it, it was able to lay flat a lot more easily. So we have the bear's mattress, and then we have the pillow, and I did a little bit of edging in this wonderful rich green, because that corresponds to the blanket. And this blanket is from like I think a willow square. I think that's what they call it. It's a popular square, and I found a free pattern for it, but there's lots of tutorials for it as well. So I'm not going to leave that one linked below. When I found the square itself, it was part of a bigger pattern pack, and it was all kind of hard to navigate. But if you look up Willow Square, you'll be able to find some tutorials on this exact thing. I did modify a little bit by adding just a little bit of scalloping on the top and bottom because I wanted my bear to be able to relax well underneath it, or kind of fold it down a little bit, or even have it draped over that way. So that is the bear's blanket. And then finally, I did the pillow, which I did kind of in the pinky colors. So it's more of a flower than a sunshine. And then I decided, because Cassandra loves her loaf cats, I found a loaf cat pattern and just made that up teeny tiny so my bear could have a little loaf cat friend to sleep with or to cuddle with. Really sweet. So that is where I am so far. Again, I'm gonna do some clothes. I think I want to do a dress. I want to do some overalls or some shorts or something. Again, modifying because of that tail there. And then Cassandra also has other parts to the Bear in a Box crochet along. I don't know that I'll get to all of them, but it has been a delight so far. So thank you again, Miss Cassandra, for everything that you do for this community and just the joy of participating in it. On the topic of amigurumi in progress, I do have one that I'm working up from a book. I got Peek-a-Pow, Animal Friends Peek-a-Pow 2. I can't show you the front because it has some identifying information on it. It is from the library, but I am doing a pattern from this book. And let me show you what I have chosen. We're doing the owl. I do love a good Peek-a-Pow pattern. I am not one to maybe do all of them because they do seem rather large at times. I have done a few. Love them. They're beautiful, but they are quite time consuming for me. But I felt like the owl was really, really sweet. And I'll show you where I'm at with my owl so far. Like as of today, day of recording, my goal is to finish the wings because I have the body. And I have, oh, what else? I have the tail. I have the little earbuds, the little floofy feathers that go on top. I guess it's kind of like a gray horned owl or a great horned owl. And I do have the beak. Oops, that's not a beak, that's a foot. So fun fact, I have a child that is very interested in owls at this moment. And so I did have to modify these feet, kind of come up with something to make sure that the owl had 2 forward-facing toes and 2 backward-facing toes. I think by the time I sew these on, it'll look pretty all right. I don't mind that there's a little hole right there because that'll just be covered up in the stitches. But yes, this is a work in progress that I really do need to finish. I need to turn this book back into the library in the next week and a half. And so if I don't finish it now, then I won't really have opportunity to do anything else out of the book, which I would love to do, but also realizing that I am human and my plate is still quite full in life. I love how the owl is kind of matching me in the colors here too, by the way. Really, really loving how this is coming out. I am using a DK weight yarn throughout, just kind of scrap DKs, and I'm using a size D hook, which is pretty small, but I really like the scale of this owl, especially compared to like other Peek-a-Pows that I've done. Like this one here. Y'all, to be honest, most of my other Peek-a-Pow patterns or even Crochet patterns have ended up being gifted. So it's really nice to see them kind of come and go through my hands. But anyhow, here's Cuthbert. Cuthbert is an otter out of the original Peek-a-Pow book. And here is, well, Newton is the working name, but I'm sure we'll find a new name for this owl. So definitely a size differential there, even though it's the same. Well, actually, no, this one was worsted weight yarn and this one is DK. So all that to say, I have some amigurumi work ahead of me. Last thing that I want to talk about, y'all, I have been working on a cardigan. Actually, one of many cardigans that I want to finish. And this is my success so far, y'all. It looks kind of a mess because I need to put it on and figure out the sizing here. I think it's going to be just about right. But I'm making a cardigan by going side to side across the back here. And then you split for the front, and then you reattach for the other side. So you kind of go up 2 sides, and then you seam up the top at the shoulders, and then you crochet on the sleeves, and then you crochet the bottom band and the neck band. So anyhow, this is one that I've been working on for quite a while. I've picked it up and I put it down again. It's made from a gorgeous baby alpaca yarn. It is Andean Treasure DK weight. It's Meridian Heather. This was from Knit Picks or We Crochet, and it's 100% baby alpaca. It says it is a 2 weight yarn, and with it, I am using a size G hook. This has been such a joy to work with. It is such a wonderful texture, super soft, feels amazing on my skin, in my hands, and even as I'm putting it up right here, like I feel happy and alive in this color. I feel like it's going to be a really gorgeous color for me. So this actually is a high priority. I want to get more work done on this. At least I need to fit it to me to make sure that I'm where I need to be, because it's not a hard way to do a cardigan. It's really not. It's one of my favorite ways to go about a cardigan, is to do, you know, those rectangles and kind of split. To me, it makes cardigans a lot more straightforward. So because of that, but also because it's a smaller weight yarn, it has taken me some time to do. But it's August 1st and it will be chilly before I know it. So I do want to put some time towards that. And again, there are other cardigans. Like I can tell you right now, I want to make a little creamy white cardigan. I have the yarn for that. I think I know kind of the stitch pattern I want to use. It'll probably be another version of this cardigan, just because that construction method has worked really well for me in the past and continues to do so. But yeah, like there's so much that I want to work on, and then there's so much else in life, and you just do what you can. So all that to say, thank you so much for spending some time with me, as I've taken a little bit of time away from actually crocheting to film this video and edit it and put it together for y'all, and it's worth it, right? Like, we make choices based on what we value. I do value y'all. I thank you so much for being part of this YouTube journey, crochet journey, life journey with me. Y'all are amazing. I love that. Even when I'm not uploading consistently, folks keep finding me. I really do appreciate that. I don't take it lightly. Everyone who comments, everyone who subscribes, everyone who likes or in any way supports this channel, I see you. Thank you. I appreciate you. If for whatever reason I'm not your cup of tea, thank you so much for listening this long. I do appreciate you, and I do hope I'll see you again soon, whenever soon may be. So thanks y'all for hanging in there with me, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.